Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Let's shout out Paul Wilson before we even get into it, because sometimes these, when y'all super chat early, it has a tendency sometimes to not show in like a minute or so. So, yeah, I'm not gonna do the usual Z thing where I hold on to it for a while before I speak about it or anything. Anyway, Paul Wilson, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Paul Wilson says, BGS tax. They shouldn't have given you Ashy Blokes YouTube, right? And shout out to BGS. I saw him in the comments. I don't know if he's still here, because once again, it was ZPT time. Um, let's get into it, right? So shout out to the brother Average Man Unplugged. Shout out to him, Average Man Unplugged. I think everything that needed to be said was said between the 11, is it let's say 11-minute and 40-second mark onward, maybe 11-minute 30-second mark onward. Everything that needed to be said was said, right? You saw the lady, white woman in her car recording herself, saying she has the propensity essentially to self-sabotage. She essentially can't control her emotions, and once upon a time her boyfriend would deal with it, and now, well, she's an ex-girlfriend now. Oops. Huh? If I understood what she was saying correctly, right? If if you let the women talk, let people talk. When you let the women talk long enough, someone's going to tell the truth. If you let the women talk long enough, all those euphemisms they're hiding behind, and you know women are good for it, all that softer language, all that purposely misusing words, oh yeah, if you let them talk long enough, eventually someone's going to tell you what it really is. Someone is going to say what it really is, what the real issue is, what the real problem is. And the real problem is that red pill content wakes men up enough where men understand their value, and certain men understand that this is a bad deal. It wakes men up to, wait a minute, do you actually have to accept that verbal abuse? Oh boy, Z, you're about to say it. You're about to use one of their terms. Do you have to accept that emotional abuse? Oh boy. Shout out to BGS, emotional labor. Do you actually have to accept that mental abuse? Maybe even that physical abuse? Uh-oh. Huh? See, the ladies speak as if they're just these little helpless, hapless, innocent creatures that are acted upon. And I've said this before. The men are toxic coming out the womb as a boy, as an infant. You are toxic coming out the womb. And what red pill content does is make you even worse. That's how the women speak. The patriarchy makes you even worse. Huh? That's how the women speak. It's not that these boys and these men are having experiences with girls and women, the XX chromosome side of the game. And then they come seeking, let me be very clear, they come seeking the black manosphere in specific. They come seeking the black manosphere because they feel like FD signifiers lying to them to their face. Dr. Umar Johnson is lying to them to their face. Steve Harvey is lying to them to their face. Derek Jackson is lying to them to their face. Huh? All of the white and black men who put women on a pedestal as if women can't be bad actors, as if women can't be toxic, as if women aren't materialistic, consumerist, gold-digging a-holes, the way y'all design them. Petulant children, temper tantrum throwing brats, sexist monsters, as if, the way y'all designed them and socialize them in the society, the women speak as if they are innocent and the men are the monsters. And what red pill content does is make men even worse. Shout out to Average Man Unplugged. As he said with the young lady, and to me, she was all right looking, that was laying on her bed, a young black woman. That said, oh, if he says these trigger words, if he speaks about single mothers, because you know they're going to bring that into the conversation. If he uses terms, I think she said alpha, I think she said whatever, but her overall message is, I want a simp. Let's be very clear. When women say simp and when men say simp, they're saying ostensibly two different things. They're really actually saying the same thing. I'm gonna get to it. I'm gonna get to it. Women are trying to make simp mean a man that tends to women's feelings and he's emotionally available and emotionally intelligent. Oh boy. And he's kind and he's giving and he's generous and he's an ass kisser for real. That's what it really is, but we'll get to it. But when women say simp, what they're trying to imply, which men know better than, but what they're trying to imply is just a generally good guy who handles women well and who tends to women, right? Who's kind to women, who isn't sexist, who isn't misogynistic in the black community's case, who isn't misogynoirist, right? Just a generally good guy. He doesn't loud talk women, he defers to women, he caters to their feelings, their emotions. This is what women pretend like they mean by simp. Now, what men know women mean by simp is someone who ignores women's bad behavior, who minimizes himself for women, who lets women speak to him and about other men, all type of reckless, sexist, misandrist, who is generally, once again, sexist towards men, right? When men hear women say simp, what men understand is that these are women that want men to co-sign their misandry towards other men, namely black men for the black community. Huh? The reason why many men, especially as you get younger, aren't signing up for this is because they understand what women mean when they say simp. Huh? A man who quote unquote defends women from other men. It's not really defense. A man who is cannon fodder for women. Yes. Thank you, Trell. In other words, simp is a man, in other words, someone who puts up with their BS. Yes, with women's BS. With the smile, by the way. It's funny what you put up there with a ish grin, with an ish eating grin. Huh? A man who doesn't care about a woman's past, a man who doesn't care that what he is to her is in case of emergency break glass boyfriend, in case of emergency break glass husband, who she will be divorcing in 5 years if you're black, within 8 to 10 years if you're white. So, dear ladies, this whole give me a simp, I want me a simp. What's wrong with being a simp? Well, because men have a different understanding of simp. By the way, ladies, y'all know what a simp really is. Y'all just trying to obscure your understanding. You're being obtuse. You are being obtuse. Shout out to Average Man Unplugged. He played the right clip. That young white woman with her glasses that was in the car, she said it correctly. What that woman was looking for was for her former boyfriend. From what I understand, they're not together anymore. For her former boyfriend to continue to be there, and she said, accept her. Her words, not the accept, but her words were her self-sabotaging ways. Was the term that she used with emotionally explosive or something like that? See, that's what y'all really mean by simp. Eat that. Take that. Diddy style. Oops, goddamn. Huh? Thank you, Vince. Ross said it the best. A simp is a sucker, and that's what the women are looking for. The women want, essentially, for women to have their own version of red pill, and they want blue pill simp ass men. Which, by the way, if you want to throw race into the conversation, this is why you see so many women of color chasing after white dudes. What they think is, what they feel is, they're going to catch them some vagina starved, tall, good looking nerd, white dude with all the money in the world, and he doesn't know the idiosyncrasies of their community, of their ethnicity, and he's going to value them and shower them with money and gifts for merely existing. And this is what your standard white guy is. That's what racial hypergamy really is. It's about climbing up that racial hierarchical ladder, hierarchical ladder, hopefully to meet the Clark Kent of Superman, right? The simp ass, good looking, chisel chin white guy who doesn't really realize that he's that. And so he might have a slight inferiority complex and he kisses your ass because of it. Ladies and gentlemen, a simp. A white simp in this case. Huh? So the ladies are blaming the red pill space, right? The ladies are blaming the red pill space. Once again, thank you for the super chat, Paul Wilson. Thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. The ladies are, of course, the ladies are blaming red pill. What did we expect, everyone? Of course they are. It's not like these boys and these men are not having real experiences. Dear everyone on the sound of my voice, any white folks that fall into this channel, especially those of you over the age of about 55, any woman that falls onto my channel, your sons, your nephews are responding to, I'm really speaking about the men under the age of about 40, maybe 45. But even for some of the brothers over 50, the men and the boys are responding the way they are because of you, because of the environment that y'all have helped to cultivate over the past few decades. It's not the red pill space. The men aren't going to clubs because of you. The men aren't trying to court you because of you. The men aren't trying to date you because of you. Huh? Dear ladies, okay, fine. Elite rich white men decided to put their chips on the women because they're not afraid of you. They're not threatened by you. You're not going to challenge their power. Actually, you want to, Z. You want to get with them. So the elite rich white men at the top, they know y'all not challenging their power. So they use y'all as the buffer class that y'all are. And then you complain to those men after the back shots, oops, that after they let you go, more average men won't end up with you. They won't marry you. They're not trying to talk to you. They're not trying to court you. They're not trying to date you. They're not trying to spend their last dollar on you. How are you supposed to grape them in divorce if they won't even marry you? Here's the kicker. You don't even think that they're worthy of marriage yourself. Now that's the kicker, everyone. Insufferable a-hole women that earn less than you barely could survive themselves, but they think they're better than you, and you're the one not deserving of marriage. Okay, yeah, that's it. Shout out to the black community. Huh? Once again, American Enterprise Institute. No, sorry, wrong stat. Once again, Black Enterprise Institute and the St. Louis Federal Reserve, single childless black women have 8 cents to the white man's dollar and have the least amount of wealth in America. And yet, these are the women that harmonize together, saying black men aren't on their level. They could do bad all by themselves. They are actually literally doing bad all by themselves. Who wants to be with average anyway when they're actually financially below average? Huh? And yet, these women are blaming the red pill because you have men across race, men across ethnicities, men across class, huh? Men across the planet, across geographical region, talking to each other about how the women are responding, reacting to modernity. And what the women said is, F you, pay me. Exorbitantly, by the way. Huh? Men across the planet, particularly young men, are watching the videos and they're reading the articles and they're reading through the comment section of whatever social media site, and they're seeing how women are speaking about them. And what these women say is, oh no, it's the red pill. The red pill is the problem. Huh? The red pill is the problem. You know what? Y'all right. Because Kevin Samuels was talking to himself. He didn't bring women on to let the women speak in their own voice and tell the men what they're looking for. And it always boiled down to walking wallet over glorified guard dog with simp tendencies. Yeah, because what Kevin Samuels did was spend entire shows just monologuing the whole entire time. He never spoke to women, right? Not on Instagram and not on YouTube. Nope. Huh? Thank you, Trell. Swaggy begging. Brother, you got to tell me how to say this. This brother says dry begging. How to say your name? Or pronounce your name. He says dry begging, begging in the car. That's what the ladies are really doing. See, this financial landscape got people hurting, men and women, and the women are really hurting. But they don't actually want to negotiate in good faith and from the position they actually are, lower than the men. Oops. Huh? They don't actually want to negotiate. What they want to do is try to psych you out into overpaying for their mediocre box, dry ass personality, and their ability to torch that marriage once they're stable. Sometimes even before they're stable. Once again, shout out to the black community. Huh? The women act like the men, the young men, the 16-year-olds don't know divorce statistics backwards and forwards. Like they don't know it. Like they haven't memorized who's getting married, who's getting divorced, etc., etc. The women act like boomer men, Xer men, millennials, and now the oldest of Gen Z haven't watched uncles and fathers, maybe even grandfathers, guy cousins get torched in divorce court. Huh? Okay, and he says it's rev ill lot. Okay, okay. Rev a lot. Okay. Like rev a lot, like a car revving a lot. Of course Mr. Z was gonna make it about cars. Of course he was. Right? Thank you, Mr. Shikti. Mr. Shikti says swaggy begging, dry begging, aggro begging. That's aggressive begging for all of you that don't understand it. I don't like these terms. I don't like these narratives, guys. Right? And once again, shout out to LAR. LAR say it's aggressive begging. You heard it here on Z's channel. Aggressive begging. Shout out to LAR. Mr. Z said swaggy begging, LAR said aggressive begging. Both apply. Huh? The ladies act like the men don't have eyes and ears. It's not the red pill, ladies. It's you. It's not the red pill, ladies. It's you, dear black women. It's you. And when y'all danced on Kevin Samuel's grave, it's you wishing death on Jamie Foxx. It's you celebrating Kobe Bryant's death just because he wasn't married to a black woman. Huh? Dear ladies, it's you supporting Derek Jackson after he spit in your face with showing you that everything he was telling you was a lie. But you just got to hear a chisel chin Tyrone sell you the soap he doesn't actually believe in. Dear ladies, it's you weaponizing guys like FD Signifier against black men. Dear ladies, it's you clapping it up for Steve Harvey. It's a man's job to take care of some wife and kids, not these insufferable a-holes that y'all been raising. These entitled little brats, materialistic consumerist brats. Shout out to Lori Harvey. Oops. Huh? Dear ladies, it's you. It is not the red pill. The only thing the red pill does is give the men the language. The red pill tells men, yeah, it's not a figment of your imagination. And that's why y'all really hate it now, isn't it? Huh? The lady said exactly what it is. She had the tendency to self-sabotage, and her ex would stay there and take it. And now the red pill told him, I don't know, that he's more valuable than that. Oops. That he don't got to deal with that. Yikes. Huh? And Revelot says, honestly, the car begging is annoying as hell. You gonna cry in the car. For real, though. Destro calls it what, the car confessionals? Shout out to Destro. The women are blaming the red pill. The red pill space? You think a bunch of dudes, most of them not showing their face on the internet, is the reason why the men are responding to the environment the way they are? You don't think it's you? You know, the opposite sex, you know, more than half of the goddamn population? You don't think it's you, ladies? You think it's a bunch of men that these men haven't come into contact with in real life? You think we're the reason? Or you think that young man or that man's experiences in real life is the reason? You don't think your sneaky link is disgusted by you because you got a boyfriend, oops, or a husband, yikes, huh? You don't think the guy that you bring that doggy bag to after you left the date with the other guy who you didn't give any to, giggity, you don't think he's disgusted by you when he's playing, 2K, whatever the hell, in his boxers in your living room, waiting for you to come home, huh? Right? Els Active said Dashboard Diaries, hysterical. Put it in the book. It's true because they do be putting a camera on their dashboard. They do put their camera phone on their dashboard to record them. True. I agree with this. And Lion says, we need to start calling women losers and lames again. Yeah. But Mr. C already says that. A loser is a loser, XX chromosome or XY chromosome. We're kinder to women. You want to know why? Because we expect a man to subsidize her. We look for the nearest man to blame for why a woman is a loser. And we have to be honest. If the new normal is women autonomy and independence, and I'm gonna get to what that sister was saying, laying down about being a woman's leader. We're gonna get to that in a minute. Um, if women are autonomous and if women are independent and if women can do their own thing, right? then guess what, ladies? You got to hold this loser moniker when you're a loser. And when you're a lame, you got to hold it by yourself, singularity. Right? You have to hold that by yourself, singularly. See, back in the day, you would look for the nearest man to her, her husband, her father, maybe even an older brother, an uncle. And the reason why she's messed up is because somehow he's messed up. Not in the time of women and their autonomy and their independence, right? And I could do what I want. See, in that era, you don't get to label the men that's closest to her and nearest to her as the reason why she finds herself in the dire straits she finds herself in. No, the women are losers and lames because, well, they're losers and lames. Huh? And as I was saying, so the young lady that said, any man that wants to be that calls himself all type of alpha, I think she said if he claims all type of leader and he got to lead his women, or very importantly, when she said if a man says, "Oh, my ex wouldn't listen," oh, hey man, leave her out. Dear black men, listen. If and I agree with Average Man Unplugged, men got to listen to trigger words also. If this young lady said you have to listen for words, I'm going to tell every black man under the sound of my voice, leave that lady out there for the white guys. Whoever she is, whatever black man is with her right now, have fun. Leave her out there for other women and for the white guys. Maybe some other random non-black man. Huh? Okay, Red Falls Black says, Lord Destro calls it dashboard confessionals. And thank you for that, brother. Leave her out there for the white guys, for the non-black guys. Huh? Let's be very clear. Whenever you hear women, namely black women, do the whole, what you mean I won't listen? Who are you? You're not my dad. Translation, protect, provide, and shut up. I don't care how educated she is. I don't care what euphemism she tries to use. I don't care what words she tries to hide behind, what type of word salad she conjures up. Huh? I don't care her class, her income position. It's all about protect, provide, and shut up. Huh? She said if a man says, "Oh, my ex wouldn't listen," yes. If a man says his ex wouldn't listen, he has every right to break up with her ass. Leave her out there. Leave her on the lot. Shout out to BGS. Or send her back to the manufacturer. Once again, shout out to BGS and Z. Huh? Yes, lady. Yes. Y'all go ahead, dear ladies, dear black women, because y'all already doing it. Y'all go ahead and munch on each other then. It's not like black women aren't doing it already. We already know who's actually secretly on the DL in the black community. Oops. Shout out to B. Taylor. Huh? Dear ladies, y'all go ahead and be the little sexual plaything for some white guy until he's done with you. Or go munch on each other. Alliances Pac-Man style. That's hysterical. I heard the sound too. I heard it. That's funny. Huh? That's hysterical. Huh? Yes, ladies. if a man is bringing in his part, or if he's paying more. So if he's doing 50-50 or more, 60-40, huh? 65-35, 70-30, 75-25, any one of those, 80-20. Yes, ladies, if you're not listening, then guess what? Your termination papers. Who are you? You're not her dad. Who are you? You don't control her. And maybe that's the problem. God damn, Z. Huh? Look at that. A bunch of autonomous women scorching the goddamn US economy. Oops. Can't afford much. Yikes. Telling you what they're not gonna do though. Uh-oh. Huh? Shout out to the black community once again. You know, Tone Talks has the term the decadent veil. Shout out to Yvette Carnell and Tone Talks. They have the term the decadent veil. But in the black community in specific, who's actually moving like they're living the decadent veil? Ooh. Outside of black male entertainers, is it not black women? A whole lot of them in serious student loan debt, a whole lot of them in serious consumer debt, pushing their baby bins, struggling, but not looking like it. Expensive handbags, struggling, but not looking like it. Huh? Expensive perfume on, expensive jewels on, struggling, but not looking like it. Expensive clothes and garments, struggling, but not looking like it. Huh? If you want to know what the women have an issue with when it comes to the red pill, that's the issue. The men are never, ever, ever supposed to question Lord, Queen, ruler of the universe, women, particularly black women. Huh? And let me tie these together. And Eric Denman, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And Eric Denman says, Z, it took me a while to realize that when women say they want men to protect them, they mean that they want men to protect them from the consequence of their decisions. Mr. Z has said this before. Could have expedited the process for you, right? And Indigo answers, right, whether he meant to answer it this way or not. But Indigo says, a drone, an attack dog, a human shield, right? The women want you to protect them from everything, including themselves and the consequences to their own actions. Huh? Most women aren't Kim Foster. They aren't the financial diet. They aren't Leisha Miller. They're not making six figures. They're never going to make that in their lifetime. Huh? Most women aren't driving the car they would like. They're not living in the house they would like. Huh? They're not making the money they would like. They don't have the man they would like. They don't even have a man. Oops. And what ends up happening and what our society has done now, a lot of this has to do with class, is our society does the same thing with women that it does with black folks. Keep on highlighting the ones of them that made it. Put the camera in front of the ones of them that made it. Don't pay attention to the masses of them that are struggling. Huh? Interview the ones that are in the top 20%. Put the ones that are in the top 5% on TV. Top 1% usually. Huh? And emphasize that. That way we could speak about what we've done for women, how we've elevated women, how we've moved out of that way, how we're not sexist anymore as a society. Shout out to white men, as if white males' paternalism isn't sexism, and they don't use it and weaponize it against everyone in this society, including working class white men. Yikes. And Dr. Dunbar, absolutely. Absolutely. And Dr. Dunbar says, Z, can I give a benediction one day? Absolutely. I don't know if you're going to be on the panel for our long ass streams, though. Right? If you just want to pop in, if you want to listen and, go about your day doing your thing. And then when I'm about to end out, jump on the panel and give your benediction. Absolutely. But Dr. Dunbar, I'm pretty sure you don't want to be on the panel for, I don't know, no 5-6 hours, sometimes 4 or 5 hours, however long Z stream be going on. It'll be a whole goddamn marathon. Right? Exactly, Lion. And Lion says, AKA safety net. And he says, hashtag no more safety nets. And that's what the ladies are looking for. FD signifier told y'all they want security and autonomy simultaneously. Absolutely not. That's why Mr. Z said, you fund it, she run it. Huh? Autonomy and security simultaneously. You imagine? And that's really what a simp is, huh? He funds it so you can run it. And then when you crash out, because we all crash out, but the women crash out worse. They go, yo, dopey ass, to tow her out of the ditch that she drove herself into. And you ain't even gonna charge her too. Huh? And Shell Billy says the talented 01, the talented 01%. They put the camera in those women's faces. Our society highlights the Leisha Millers and the Kim Fosters, those young women that are in CNN on CNN now as hosts. And I watched a CNN documentary about them a few years ago, and you could tell it was I want to say, what's her name? Not Dana Brazil. It was Dana Bash. Dana Bash was part of it, and I guess she was highlighting like these are the up and coming, the new face of CNN, and it was a lot of those young women. What's her name was one of them. The young sister that we covered the other day. That's on CNN. The chocolatey one, cute. That was on the panel with Nina Turner and the white woman that said, "Why are we focusing on the men?" Or what is her name? The host, but she was one of them. Homegirl with the chisel chin that's on CNN. She's somewhat relatively young. Um, she was on there. White woman. Yeah, a bunch of these women, and they're the new up and comings, right? And it was a couple of black women. And it was some white women too. No, it was that Latina chick from Texas. I want to say she was, maybe Texas. I want to say she was Texas, but either way, they highlight those women, right? They put the camera in those women's faces to obscure that most women are struggling, and that a few decades of their autonomy and I do what I want, has gotten them pretty much nothing and nowhere. All it's done is driven the men away. You know, the men that subsidize women. So the women have their autonomy, no security, no safety net outside of government provided safety nets. Huh? That's what the women have gotten over the past 5-6 decades now, give or take. I ain't even gonna highlight it, Dr. Dunbar. I ain't even gonna highlight it. That'll be dope if you do though. Huh? Very educated woman, intelligent woman. It's a shame. Not married, no children, right? And writing books to excuse it to herself. Ah, writing books to excuse it to herself. I knew it was a rap, Dr. Dunbar, because I've watched a bunch of her interviews, and she said it on a couple of the interviews that essentially, and I'm paraphrasing, the women never give up hope, but the men have a hard line, right? and I think she's talking about black professionals, right? Um, Upwardly mobile black folks who aren't married, don't have children, and don't plan to, right? And she said, but the men have a hard line. There's an age that for every man, there's an age that he says he will get to, and he's not doing it. He's not trying to get married. He's not trying to have children. But essentially, the women always hold out hope. Yeah, because we mean it, Dr. Chris Marsh. Unlike the women, we're not just throwing a temper tantrum because we can't get the type of woman we want. We said when we get to a certain age, whether it's 50, whether it's 55, definitely 60, whether it's 48, we said when we get to this age, if I didn't at least start, I'm not doing it. Thank you, GC. The book, obviously Z hasn't read it, but it looking like it's a whole goddamn one big cope. Exactly, GC. Huh? Intellectualizing one big cope. Dr. Chris Marsh, we mean it as men. Y'all don't appreciate the, we could talk all about all this egalitarianism and equality. The men don't want it, neither do the women, because we absolutely know the women are going to defer to the men for the resources. Period. Yes, in our society, we have a handful of kick-ass women who's making really good money, and their husband can afford to be stay-at-home husbands. And very importantly, she doesn't look at him as less of a man. That is not what the masses of women are on, Dr. Chris Marsh. Huh? And because of that, the men said, why would I start the clock at 52 years old, 55 years old? Why would I do that? Why would I start the clock at 57 years old? Why would I do that? Now, get married to some way younger chick and we could have fun and she could enjoy my money and we could travel? Maybe. If I'm 57 and she's 35, maybe. If I don't know about the last dude in the carousel, maybe, possibly. That's good for me. That means she got experiences. Oops. Lip. That means she's experienced. I don't got to teach nothing. Oops. Lip. Huh? Thank you. And Dr. Thunder was going on. I got two ducks in the room, two ducks. Right? And Dr. Thunder says, they're all imposters. Marsh knows that. Yeah, look, the men mean it. The men are not Dr. Chris Marsh. The men are not starting no goddamn family clock. I'm talking about the masses of men. Yes, you meet some that do. The masses of men are not trying to start the family clock at 57 years old, 58, 55. Will some do it? Yes. Are there men that really want to have a family and they're finally meeting their wife worth a damn at 47 years old? Yes, that happens. We all know that happens. We know those people. But are the masses of men that lucky or maybe unlucky? No. It's different if you're 55 and you meet the 35-year-old and y'all just chill out for the rest of your life. Huh? Y'all just do y'all girlfriend, boyfriend, lady friend, guy friend thing for the next 20 some odd years until he passes. That's one thing. It's a whole other thing to start the family clock at 55. Huh? That's a whole different conversation. Once again, this is why the ladies do not like the red pill. Why wouldn't you? I mean, what's wrong with that? Because we're not you, right? The women have been smelling their own farts for far too long. They really think men are defective women. Y'all have really convinced yourselves that. At least, original feminism, y'all were just looking for equality, so y'all say, not dominance, and y'all didn't convince yourselves that men need to be reformed into women, but with penises and that are paymasters. All type of weird things y'all trying to jumble up together. There needs to be an on and off switch to his masculinity, and I, as a woman, need to be the one with the on and off switch. Get out of here. Huh? Now y'all been smelling your own farts so long, y'all really think men want the same thing that women want in the exact same way in order that women want it? Huh? The women, by the way, that are too cowardly to challenge the white male power structure that's pushing their fraternity window until it breaks, quite literally, because y'all trying to stay on the hamster wheel of your career. And these corporate, man, this is the slickest thing these elite white men ever did. They're paying y'all to freeze y'all eggs, but they know they're gonna make you run that clock out. They know they're gonna do it. And these are the women. Shout out to that young lady who was recording herself laying on her bed. These are the women that can quote unquote lead themselves. Yeah, because y'all lead revolutions, right? Oops. Yeah, that's it. Huh? Harriet Tubman, name them. That's it. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Huh? No wonder y'all don't like the red pill. Because men are just supposed to be big, dumb oafs who protect, provide, shut up, and maybe sometimes provide good D and vitamin D. Oh boy. Huh? And by the way, I meant take our mics as a double entendre. Take their mics, giggity, because they mean it in both ways, if you really want to be honest. They want the society to take our mics, and they want the society to take our mics. Oops. Which mic are you talking about, Z? Oh boy. Both mics. Just make sure to wipe off after talking on the second mic. Oops. Right. And I said that because L's active super chat here. Um, so we'll pause right here and read L active super chat. And L's says, and like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And L says they want to take our mics for the same reason they're mad at Cooking with Kaya. Don't raise black men standards or awareness. They must remain ignorant. True. Truly white supremacist strategies. That's all. It really is elite folks in this weirdo class warfare they're waging, better yet, using the women, right? And anyone who's any type of engaged with foreign US and Western foreign policy gets it. Anyone. It's the same playbook. It is the exact same playbook Westerners, we talking about white folks, engage with when they go overseas, when they go to the Middle East, when they go to Africa, when they go to East or South Asia, when they're in South America. It's the same playbook. Huh? And the ladies are down with the BS. They decided to sign the Faustian bargain of mainly rich white elite men, whether they're conservative or liberal. And now on the other side of that, they're complaining that the men, the young men in particular, are too red pill. The men, when they were boys, watched y'all sign the Faustian bargain. Dear ladies, your son was standing right next to you when you signed the Faustian bargain with the elite rich white men. Huh? Your sons were standing right next to you. Your nephews were standing right next to you. Your grandsons were standing right next to you. To all of the middle class women, working class women, lower middle class women, working poor women, your sons were standing right next to you when you signed the devil's pact. If you want to know why your son is not putting a ring on these women's finger, why would he? To all the women, why would he? Y'all are talking about self-sabotage. The women are literally telling you, I do what I want. Now, why won't you marry me? Why aren't you showing why aren't you showing up to speed dating events? Why aren't you showing up to mixers? Why aren't you showing up to matchmaking events? Why aren't you paying for our drinks at the club or at the bar? Why are you just making googly eyes from across the room and you won't speak to me? You won't approach me. Would you expect me to approach you? I'm a woman. Right? I'd rather throw up than do that. Okay, fine then, ladies. Huh? The women are telling you they do what they want, how they want, when they want. Nothing wrong with that. See, dear ladies, men can respond. Men don't have to be abusive. Y'all know this is demonetized, right? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. I done said abusive too many times. There you go. Once again. The men don't have to be physically assaulting. There we go. Right? The men don't have to be mean. The white woman that said, "Oh, she met her and her homegirl met these dudes, white dudes probably, and they hit it off and they went back to their place and expected them to have free food there and whatever and hard peens. Oops. And one of the guys that they weren't attracted to was the guy that was negging them, and then the other quiet, I guess, good-looking guy didn't pay them no attention. That should give you a sign, and they end up leaving, huh? Ladies, you were getting what you asked for. You just didn't read the receipt. You didn't read the fine print, huh? You were saying to them, this is self-sabotage like a mug. You are saying to the men, I will be insufferable. I will be mean. I will be snarky. I will be combative. I will be sassy. Ladies, you are saying that to the men through action and definitely through words. You are saying, I am going to be a behavioral problem. And yet, it is your job as a man to still pay exorbitantly, protect with your life, and do a whole lot of munching, goddamn. And the men said, absolutely not. Huh? The men said, absolutely not. Why would I ever sign up for that? Huh? The red pill is not the reason why the men are not signing up to quote unquote partner with these young women. First of all, we already know the young women don't even really want to be with them. They've said it multiple times. And let's be very clear, the men actually know, the young men especially know this. The issue that the women are having is that y'all put up this wall so that the men you don't find attractive don't approach you, but it ends up blocking the men you actually would want to speak to you. Uh-oh. See, y'all do all this virtue signaling to the men you find attractive. You say all this sexist, misandrist stuff for the men that you don't find attractive, but all men hear the same thing. Goddamn. Huh? And that's really what it is. The women, excuse me, the women are moving around society, walking with blowhorns, no pun, walking around here with blowhorns, telling everyone what they're not attracted to, what they don't find appealing. And it's like 85% of men. But yet the men you find appealing hear it too. And if he doesn't find you attractive, he won't even engage. He won't even take you on the Tizzy tour. Shout out to Accountable Commentary. Say it, Vince. And Vince is a nagger. I just thought about, was that the South Park episode? But yeah, a nagger talking about someone negging. Ain't that the pot calling the kettle black? The women don't see themselves as nag. They think that's a sexist trope that the men came up with. The women don't see themselves as nags. They don't see that as them with a power play that if they say the same thing a million times, then eventually you'll give in. The women don't. Nagging to them is a sexist trope that the men came up with. It's not nagging that she keeps on reiterating the same goddamn thing over and over again and hopes that you'll eventually just say, fine, I'll do it. No? What's crazy about, and shout out to Average Man Unplugged, the collage of videos that he put together pretty much perfectly illustrate what we talk about here. No wonder the women have an issue with the red pill. We expect it, dear ladies. We expect it. We expect you to have a problem with the red pill. Of course you do. Y'all are admitting that y'all are self-sabotaging. And y'all calling men your male partners. If you don't get the entire hell out of here, partner, you want to know why the men aren't dating? Because y'all are calling them partners. We're not talking about business and we're not LGBTQ, but yet you're referring to heterosexual men as your partner. Huh? If you're so open to being in a partnership, then be in a partnership with another woman. Goddamn, Z. Huh? If that's the language I'm about, if y'all want to play this game, I'm about saying anytime a woman says partner, ask her, oh, so you're pansexual? Are you open to different type of relationships? Are you LGBTQ? No, why would you say that? You said partner. Huh? If y'all want to play dumb, we can play dumb. Huh? Y'all don't want to call these men your boyfriends and your husbands because they not being paymasters? Fine then. Y'all want to play dumb? We can play dumb. Mr. Z, how did you come to that conclusion? Because that's essentially what Kim Foster told us, ain't it? Oops. Huh? Partner. If the women are insisting on having quote unquote partners, then I'm just going to assume that she's LGBTQ. I mean, you're saying partner. You didn't say husband. You didn't say boyfriend. You didn't say man. You said partner. So I'm assuming that you're open to anything. You date women. You date men. You date trans. Huh? You're non binary. I'm assuming you're non binary and you're open to everything because you said partner. Huh? Indigo, that's funny. Indigo says, you want to play sick? We could get ill. That's funny. Right? And accurate. The heavy set sister with the low haircut, essentially, and she asked, tell me if the red pillow, she said manosphere, whatever she said, if it ruined your relationship with your male partner. First of all, partner, meh. And that's why they, if you ladies, because y'all acting dumb, y'all are being obtuse here. This is why young men, it's not just the algorithm, FD signifier. It's not just the algorithm. Nope. The young men are looking for spaces like this for exactly what that young lady said. She said male partner. You're, dear ladies, I get it. You think that men are defective women and that you can hide behind these words and the men will go for it. Masses of men won't. Huh? And we already know the majority of men aren't attending college, and so they aren't graduating college. So they haven't been thoroughly indoctrinated. Ooh, goddamn, Z, you actually said it. In the ways of the LGBTQ and LGBTQ adjacent type of language. Huh? So when these men hear partner, they thinking, okay, are we talking about business? Or are we talking about LGBTQ lifestyle? Huh? Oh boy. Partner. This is why they have a problem with the red pill, everyone. Men are just supposed to go along and get along. Be the little dope who pays for everything. Right? The women didn't ask you your opinion. They don't want to know your opinion. What Simone Sanders said? Unsolicited opinions. And Vince says, I'm becoming more of a rarity. Vince, see, the other part of this conversation about college and university and men and I guess quote unquote leftist politics is how many men may start that way, but after interacting with too many women on these college campuses, they end up going in the opposite direction. And I want to be very clear. I'm even hearing supposed leftist men. You could tell they're about to put their foot up white women's ass. But we already know how this works. Black women gonna feel it the worst because of course they are. That's what you get for being the mascot for the dumb ish. Almost lost my religion. Almost. Right. When you if you really listen to a lot of especially the old head Democrats, they're tired of this the college campus culture that no longer has debate. They understand how many of Trump supporters are actually reactionary and they were on the left all of 5 and 6 and 7 years ago. Right. They're tired of the more, to be honest with you, inconsiderate culture, the group think. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. They understand what it is. Don't expect those men to say it. Y'all sound like a bunch of pansies, feminized losers, and this is why we're losing as Democrats. Don't expect the older, especially white male Democrats to say it. They're talking around it though. I've been listening. They're talking around it, and guess what? Their wives, the older white women, agree. Uh-oh. And you know who that's going to hurt? Black women and some Latina women. Of course. Y'all were the mascots for the dumb ish. Y'all signed up. Shout out to Paulie Murray. Rest in peace. Y'all signed up. Y'all signed the Faustian bargain with white women. Y'all thought white women were going to walk y'all into the promised land. And they do what they always did was walk far enough to get closer to white men and left y'all out there in the wilderness. Huh? And now you're out there in the wilderness. Say that. And Mr. Shook to you says, if you were to ask them to define partner, what you would get is a terrible one-sided deal. because their payment is your presence, Mr. Shug, to you. Their payment for this quote unquote partnership is her presence, whatever funky degree she has, and whatever money she's coming to the relationship with that she's not going to spend on you. Huh? Her presence is the payment. The kids for her are the payment because the kids aren't y'all kids. She didn't want children all of a sudden, right? The children, God forbid, a son, is the payment. So it is a partnership. You enter the partnership, you enter the partnership with your resources, with your skills, with your body, because if anything goes down, that's your life, right? And she enters the relationship with her presence, not her money, because it's not going on you, huh? Not her deferring to you. Once again, the young lady, the black woman told you, if the man speaks about leadership and women not listening, these are trigger words. So once again, she's not deferring to you. So her presence is the payment for the relationship, for the quote unquote partnership. Wow. And Lion said, "Here's your bucket, Z. The throw up bucket, it's already full. It's already full." Huh? These ladies think we're dumb. Oh, better yet, they hope we're dumb. They have an issue with the red pill because the men are seeking the red pill. Listen, ladies, y'all could throw as many little bills out there, particularly for black women. Let's be very clear, Mr. Z. Let's actually direct this to black women. Y'all could throw all the little bills out there, all the foreign man in the foreign lands, all the conscious leads, all the FD signifiers. It means nothing, dear black women, dear Dr. Sabrina Springs, dear Dr. Chris Marsh, dear Dr. Why doesn't Z ever remember her name? The sister that was on Black Girls Texan podcast. Um, to all of you, none of what you're saying matters if you can't get men, more than likely black men, because they're the ones who are more likely to sign up for this, to help subsidize black women. If you can't get that done, nothing you're talking about, no one you have to, no man that you bring about the FDs of the world to have this conversation, none of it means anything. Absolutely nothing. If you can get some man, probably a black man, to subsidize black women, period. Huh? That's funny. In Venom cases, my presence is a present. Now kiss my ass. Huh? I get it. The FDs are around and the foreign man to insult us. Shout out to FD signifier calling us Nick cells. Not FD. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, Foreign man in a foreign land calling us Nick cells. Yes, we get it. They're here to insult us and to demean us, right? To mock us, and it cost them elections. Oops. Huh? They're here to do that. But the way the women are weaponizing the FDs of the world is to get the young men to think of it differently. And the young men just told you what they thought about FD and foreign. The young black men just told you what they thought about FD and foreign. I'm saying this to FD, I'm saying this to foreign, I'm saying this to consciously, I'm saying this to all the black women, particularly the academics and the thinkers and the essayists, et cetera, the Kim Fosters of the world. Nothing you're doing means anything if you can't get black men to couple up with black women and to fund them. I've seen the numbers. Black women are drowning. They can't do it by themselves. And that Africana kinship network, sisterhood, homegirl thing ain't gonna work because it isn't working. Y'all could hang that up. The whole tribe safety net, and you know, we're not gonna promise them in anything. We're just gonna try to socialize them to be okay with the Africana kinship network where they get nothing and they give up everything, even though they're not getting no vagina, no quote unquote lip partnership. Oh my God, lip. That one right there. That one hurt. Huh? No companionship. They're not deferred to. Dear FD, dear Kim Foster, dear T Noir, dear Julesy, dear Fab Socialism, dear Dr. Chris Marsh, whoever y'all are, dear Dr. Sabrina Springs, black men and boys are not signing up for that. Y'all could have the white folks destroy the whole black manosphere overnight. It still ain't gonna change nothing. Your son is not gonna sign up for that. He's not. It's a raw deal. Huh. There's a pun in there somewhere. He's not. Huh? The men are not signing up to go 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, 100% financially for insufferable a-hole women. Talking about being autonomous and free and what? I do what I want on my dime. Okay, yeah, that's it. Well, that's a partnership. The men are not signing up for that. The boys are not signing up for that. And so you can speak like these boys are already toxic, but you can maybe manage with them, and then the red pill comes around and the boys gravitate to the red pill, the men gravitate to the red pill, and it makes them even worse and even more toxic men than they would have been already, because that's the framing, right? Huh? And that's the framing, isn't it? And Leon says black men's morals, values should never let a woman slip or fall lower than him, and let these let these 304s on your back. No, for real though. It's very interesting the juxtaposition they put men in. A good man is a good ally, and a good ally is exactly what Leon just described. Huh? See, a good man understands history and understands that what is happening must be done. Women must be mean, snarky, rude, condescending, extreme to men because this is the response to millennia of misogyny. See, a good ally is either quiet or encourages women when women go off on their misandrous rants and tirades. Huh? This is what a ally, a good male ally. Male. Don't like the way they use it. This is what a good male ally is. A good male ally is a FD, is a foreign man, is a consciously. Y'all saw the way consciously was going at the black manosphere in particular over Brickface Rhoda, and she was lying. and we knew it and we said it. You saw the way how he stood 10 toes down even after she was caught, once again, lying. That's a good male ally. Derek Jackson is a good male ally. Minus the, extracurriculars on his wife. Huh? Those are good male allies. Foreign man calling black men nigcells is a good male ally. Huh? Calling black men all type of wannabe white men, white male adjacent. Huh? Shout out to Joyanne Reed. See, if you're a black man and you call black men all type of white male wannabes, white male adjacent, trying to chase after the patriarchy, you're a good male ally. Huh? Huh. That gives you a second. Let me see something. Good point. Vince is a good ally is controversial Shannon. Right? Controversial Shannon, yeah, but I think that because it's not convincing enough. FD is a good male ally. Right? Controversial Shannon, yes. Right? Themis, yeah, but once again, sexuality, so, right? But no, a good male ally, at least in the black community, is a FD signifier. It's a Derek Jackson. It's a foreign man in a foreign land. It's a conscious Lee. Those are good male allies. Huh? In white society, it's Hassan. You know, the 6'3" white passing Middle Eastern guy that the women are drooling over, but he could speak to the men, to the young men, but he is one of the preferences for women, so he really don't get it, but he could pretend like he get it. Yeah, that guy. Thank you. And Compassionate says a good ally is essentially a matriarchal representative. Ding, 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 ding. Then Compassionate got the words, y'all. Huh? And Namus says, the translation, a good male ally is a pom-pom waving cheerleader for women's shenanigans. That's another way to say it. Yep. Dr. Thunder says, most black male faces in high places are good female allies. Dr. Thunder, it's class warfare, really. I got mine. I got my wife. I'm doing okay. Or if I don't want to get married, my title and my status allows me for me to have fun in the dating world. We know what that means. So I'm good. All the rest of y'all just need to, talk better and do better. Right? Isn't that the term? Do better, men. Do better. The men are doing better by not attempting to date y'all. Oops. The men are doing better. Huh? So yeah, Doc, yeah. Look, we already know how much that there are certain academics that are spineless. Absolutely spineless. We get it. And Mr. Z gets it. People trying to get tenure, right? People don't want to be seen as kooks. I get it. No one wants to be trolled by their students. right? I get it. No one wants to bring a bad image to the school, to the institution. I get it. And when you put all of that in the blender, what you get on the other side is the black community. Goddamn Z. Huh? When you put all that in the blender, well, you get the society you have now. So of course the ladies have an issue with the red pill. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Of course they do. Why wouldn't they? Huh? Why wouldn't they? She said male partner. Homegirl said male partner. Then these women have the nerve to say men aren't men anymore. Using your logic, what's a man? Oops. You imagine the women who can't do social math. You fight and you push trans rights. Okay, fine. You challenge notions of, or at least you attempt to, challenge notions of what a man is supposed to do and what a woman is supposed to do, and what a man is and what a woman is. And you say, no, we're all, everything is everything, and we're all, and we're nothing, nothing, and none of this means anything. Okay, fine. All right. Huh? Fine. And then now it's time to date, and you don't think your same political and social views are coming back to bite you in the rear end. Cue up the part of the video where it's one of those man on the street interviews, and the dude asks the young white woman, if women don't want to be approached in clubs, then why aren't they going to gay clubs? Huh? And y'all saw her flummox. Well, sound like she done goddamn beatboxing. Ooh, that's. I'm gonna leave that, y'all. Y'all, some of y'all thought the same thing Z thought, and we gonna leave that alone. Put that right back on the shelf. Leave that. So easy. Huh? Sound like the Haktua girl. Anyway, oops. Huh? Exactly. And these are simple. Yes, it's trolling. Look, I don't know about everyone else. Mr. Z can admit it. Yeah, he was trolling, and the question still remains. Oops. Huh? The question still remains. If the women don't want to be approached, then why aren't they going to gay clubs? Because the answer is the women want to be approached. They just want to be approached by certain types of men. The women want that the men that they're not attracted to oogle and google from afar, because they still want the attention. They just don't want you to approach. Huh? The real thing is, yes, I am dressing up for the men. That's what the women are saying. I am dressing up for the men. I do want the attention. I do want Chisel Chin Shadow Tyrone to flirt with me, send me drinks, etc., etc. That's what the women are actually trying to say. They don't got the ovaries to say it. Huh? The women aren't going to gay clubs because they want the attention. Okay, for you Buckeye fan, because I took so long to cover the TLC joint. I did not forget about you. Um, Once again, Chief Rocker stream should be coming Monday, so look out for that. I'm gonna put the thumbnail and everything together. Um, Buckeye fan, I'll listen to it and watch it, and I should be covering it tomorrow. Hopefully Mr. Z doesn't have anything crazy come up. So y'all hold Z to this. Hopefully we don't have nothing crazy. We'll try to cover this tomorrow. And Buckeye fan says, and thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Buckeye fan says, just getting in. Did you see the brick lady Anton Daniels panel? I clicked the thumbnail. I did not watch it yet. I will watch it so that we can cover it. Okay, there you go. I'll get to it. So y'all look out for that. Hopefully tomorrow we'll cover it. And there you go, everyone. There you go. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, and yeah, thank you for that, Buckeye fan. We'll check it out. We'll check it out. Right? Huh? So the ladies have put themselves in some of the most unenviable position humanly possible. This is your fault, Torah. Right? Your fault. And that was a great trolling question. Yeah, it was a trolling question. And if the women don't want to be approached, then why don't y'all go to gay clubs? If you want to party and listen to the same type of music and don't have to worry about the male gaze, ooh, goddamn, there now talk about a double entendre. Huh? If you don't want to have to worry about the male gaze, GAYS and GAZE, then why don't you go to a gay club then? You just want the vibe. You just want to drink with your homegirls and not have to worry about the male gaze. I gotta say it again because it was funny. Then why don't you go to a gay club? Oh, because you do want male attention. And you do want men to approach. Now, you want all of the male attention, but you want certain men to approach. You just don't have the ovaries to say it. You don't have the ovaries to say you dress up for the men. Yeah, you're dressing up to compete against other women, of course, but you're also dressing up for the men. You're dressing up for the male gaze, but the sisterhood, even the white girl sisterhood, said you're not supposed to say that out loud. You're not supposed to say you're going there so that you could dance with some dude. You're not supposed to say you hope that you could find your chisel chin Chad and hopefully be able to make out with him on the dance floor. We all done seen them white folks making out on the dance floor. They don't even know each other. We all seen it. Huh? And Compassionate says they can't admit they want attention from select men because when the vast majority of them don't get any play from said men, they have to admit they're not it. I get what you're saying. They're not it. Yeah. Well, yeah, this hurts their feelings. This is where Ostefko comes in. Huh? That hurts their feelings. The difference between men have to make overt shots. You have to, for the most part. For the most part. Women, on the other hand, can imply and suggest and infer, and even then they begin they feel uncertain. But God forbid she actually makes a direct attempt, an overt attempt, and she gets shot down. Oh, it crushes them. Everyone speaks about men not being able to handle rejection. Can women handle rejection? It crushes them. Alexa, cue up video of women crying in car, please. Huh? Thank you, Els. And this is my point. And Els says, compassionate, they must leave room for plausible deniability for their failures. Shout out to Lion, hypergamous failures. Right? Shout out to Lion, exactly, hypergamous failures. And much of what we're saying, and I think I said this a week or so ago, the women throwing temper tantrums because they got outbidded in the dating market. And so they claim that the man is a cheater or these men are cheaters when actually y'all were dating. Y'all weren't a couple, y'all weren't in a relationship. You just got outbid by the next chick. Oops. The other woman was offering more and maybe for cheaper. Huh? The other woman was offering more and maybe with less headache. And so instead of you taking that L, Instead of you taking that loss for what it is, you lied to yourself and to others that he cheated on you or that he led you on. Huh? All type of words instead of admitting I did too much. Or better yet, actually, I didn't do enough. Uh-oh. Huh? But it is what compassion is saying. The women don't want to admit that they're taking their shots, their subtle shots, um, at elite men, and they're getting turned down or they're getting ignored. Y'all saw that lady did all of that ranting. That white woman did all of that ranting to finally at the end of her story. So y'all need to know it's not just the Ostefco thing for all of us that remember when BGS covered Obsidian telling you his issue with women and Ostefco telling you her issue with men, and Obsidian when he was asked by Dr. T. Hassan Johnson what his issue with women was, it took him all of like 3 to 4 minutes to answer the question. Boom, out of there. It took Ostefco goddamn a 30-minute long goddamn video to finally at the end get to her point. She ain't the only one. This white lady gave you a long ass story about meeting these guys in a bar and you know they're getting along, but then they start negging the 2 women on the way to the dude's place, and then she realized that it might be an Airbnb and et cetera, et cetera. She giving you all of this runaround just to tell you at the end the guy that her and her homegirl were attracted to was on his phone minding his own goddamn business. That means he's not interested, but you couldn't admit that. So of course you're gonna take shots at the guy that they're not interested in. Of course she is. She did all that. How long was that story that she was going on about? 5, 6, 7 minutes? Something like that. 4, 5, 6 minutes? She said all of that just to really actually say, yeah, so the guy that me and my homegirl was interested in, the what she said, cute and quiet one, he was on his phone in the corner. And there you go. Why didn't you just get to that in the first place? Because of your feelings. So you took a shot. You were taking shots at the entire other rest of the dudes. You took a shot at the guy you claim you and your homegirl, you and your girlfriend did not find attractive, but yet he was the main one negging you. All of that so you wouldn't have to deal with the fact that the guy that you and your homegirl find attractive ignored y'all ass. Huh? For all of you that caught that story, once again, link is in the description box. Lady, you said all of that. And see, that's why I'm not dating anymore. You're not dating anymore because the select guys that you want don't want your ass. And you too much of a coward to admit it. Huh? You made fun of all of the rest of the guys in the group. You made fun of whatever place they got. Okay, maybe it was an Airbnb and they lied to y'all about this is one of their place and then the others are visiting. Okay, fine. You admitted that you went over there for the free food. You didn't admit that you wanted to. Anyway, Z. Anyway, leave that one. You and your homegirl. So that means, according to you, from what I'm understanding in the story, there's 2 of you. There's you and your homegirl, and y'all with 5 dudes. White women stuff. White women stunts. Then y'all just met them and y'all going back to their place. Once again, white women stuff. This is why y'all getting missing. Look, this is oh my god, white women. This is why y'all get deleted. This is why y'all end up going missing. Y'all just met these guys. There's 2 of you and 5 of them, but you going back to their place. Dear black men, part of the black manosphere, please raise y'all daughters better than this. Compassion, you being nice. You said a 6. I don't know if you looked at that lady the way I looked at her, but fine. Huh? So you did all of that. You said all of that diatribe, your story, just to pretty much say at the end, the quiet, cute guy that you and your homegirl found attractive didn't say anything to y'all, even when you were exiting. the apartment or the condo, wherever y'all were. And this is listen, everyone, this perfectly encapsulates what Z is talking about. These women are railing against the red pill, but if you let them talk, let them talk. And yes, I get it. They're going to be talking and talking and talking and talking and talking and obscuring what they really mean. But if you let them talk long enough, eventually they're going to say it or imply it at least what they're actually talking about. Just like that lady. She gave you that whole story. And at the crux of the story actually was that the guy that her and her girlfriend found attractive ignored their ass. They did all of that for that one guy, really. One of them, they were like, they pretty much did what the brothers do, which is one of us gonna get her. They pretty much did that, and he ignored both of their ass. And they were stuck with the guy they didn't find attractive that was negging them. Huh? That whole story was really about that. Now notice she kind of minimized it. She mentioned it towards the end of the story. She didn't really focus on it, which lets you know that's the real issue. Huh? She talked about everything else. She emphasized everything else. And see, this is why I don't date anymore. You don't date anymore once again because the men you want don't want your ass back. By evidence of your own goddamn story, ma'am. You did all of that. You insulted all the rest of those guys, probably white guys. You made fun of the apartment that they were in. You did all of that. You talked about how they promised y'all food, etc., etc. All of that. You did all of that. Not to admit it hurt your feelings and it hurt your girlfriend's feelings that the guy that y'all did all of that for, the quite cute one, did not say anything to y'all and ignored y'all ass. He was on his phone. Your own words, ma'am. Yes. Yeah, compassion now. Compassion, you know this. And compassion says, wow, so women actually take you not approaching them as a subtle form of rejection. That's hilarious. Compassion, compassion, you've been one of my day ones. What does he call it? Rejection trauma. These women been feeling rejection trauma since they were like 14 years old. Before that, really. If we really want to get into it. Oh, Stefco told you when she was 8 years old. That rejection trauma is real. It's as if it's a literal physical punch. As a matter of fact, hopefully, if I have time tonight, if not by tomorrow morning, I will post on my community chat the article that speaks about um emotional trauma being that registers in the same part of the brain as trauma, physical trauma. Yes. So these women are registering you, ignoring them as you punching them in the face. That's how they're registering it. So once again, mentioning colorism, when you are not so interested in the darker skinned sister and you approach the lighter skinned black woman in front of the darker skinned black woman, oh boy, y'all thought Z was joking? I'm not joking. In their minds, what you just did was tap the darker skinned one on the shoulder and say, you big lip, ugly ape, you deserve to be alone and you should die alone and nobody wants you. Yeah, in their mind, you saying all of that. You didn't say anything. You didn't even look at her in disgust. But the fact that you, in her mind, ignored her and approached a light skinned woman, you did say all of that. You might as well. Huh? Yeah, rejection trauma is real. It is real. Do men feel it? I would argue yes, but our society makes us get over it. Definitely get over it better than the women. The women, on the other hand, oh boy, she get to stew in those waters forever. Anybody want to talk about Kim Foster? Oops. Oh, Stefco. Yikes. Huh? What's the other one I covered the other one day? Not Life would Breathe. The other one. Not the other day. Maybe a couple months ago I covered her. Wasn't her name Bree too? Brienne? I can't remember. No, it's not Brienne. It's the yeah. Anyway, huh? Yeah, that rejection trauma is real, especially for the ladies, because nothing in the society makes them get over it. Nothing in our society makes them get over it. Huh? Jake, listen. And Jake says these women would have breakdowns if they got rejected as much as men. If women, particularly black women, if black women were nuclear rejected the way they nuclear reject black men, these women would be jumping off of bridges. They would be slitting their wrists. Once again, like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat because we definitely demonetized. Huh? They're not built for that. Absolutely not. Look at how they take a man not approaching them. Let alone if you were to call them all type of ugly and loser and oh man, them women, man, deleting themselves left and right. And Els Active says assisted deleting would be voted in the next day. Right? The women ain't built. No wonder they want the rip. Listen, man, if y'all listen to this lady's story, once again, link in the description box. Shout out to Average Man Unplugged. That lady talked all around the moon for her, and the way she de-emphasized that. Yes, she made mention of it, but it was like a passing comment essentially. And she framed it like she was really trying to jab at whatever white dude it was. I'm assuming white dude that was negging her and her girlfriend that her and her girlfriend wasn't interested in. She kind of framed it like she was actually jabbing at him with the "you're not even who we wanted. We wanted the quiet, cute guy in the corner." But really, if you really pay attention to the story, it's really all about the quiet, cute guy. Everything her and her girlfriend did was to get with the quiet, cute guy, and it fell through. It didn't work, and there you go, huh? And now what? You listen to the ladies talk. The one of the first videos on that stream, on that video of Average Man Unplugged, is a lady, and she's crying, and then the inner simp in Z was like, "Oh, look like white or white Latina lady, um, talking about being single and crying and feeling that rejection." She's crying, y'all. Notice she didn't say anything about anyone hurting her feelings. No one insulted her looks. It's just that men aren't approaching and it's killing her inside. She's literally crying. Once again, tearist. Shout out to Trill. I actually agree with this, Compassionate. I actually agree with this a lot. And Compassionate says they wouldn't delete themselves. That actually takes balls. Put intended. Right? They just descend into nihilism and recklessness, which is what what we're seeing nowadays. Ironically, no, that's exactly what we're seeing. That's exactly what we're seeing. You're right. Anybody want to talk about the black community? Anybody want to talk about the overweight sisters with all the tattoos in the world in the neon green highlighter weave? Anyone want to talk about the career-oriented black women with no children, never been married, insanely insufferable? Huh? All that's nihilism, everyone. Anybody want to talk about Chrissy? Materialistic, consumerist a-hole that boils men down to nothing but walking once and overglorified guard dogs. That's the nihilism, everyone, by the way. Huh? That's the well, if y'all don't want me, fine then. You're nothing but a wallet. And you'll be treated as such. Loser ass behavior. Huh? Kangaroo said, oh, I love when Jamaicans say blood clean. Kangaroo says, can't even cut to blood clean. Oh man, shout out to my Jamaicans. Shout out. I heard it, and one of my partners, talking about partners, one of my Jamaican partners, I heard it in his voice just now, so that's why I'm laughing. Oh man, hysterical. I heard it. My barber is Jamaican too, you guys, so I heard it in his voice also. It's hysterical. Oh man, Kanguru, you just killed me just now. Because my barber would say the same thing. I can't do the Jamaican accent, y'all. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I've been around Jamaicans my entire life, and I can't do the Jamaican accent. I can't do it. So, but yeah, I could definitely. But my barber would say something like that. That is definitely up his alley. He would say something exactly like that, right? Oh man. No, compassion really is. I'm not gonna highlight it, but yeah, just in case, looking out for you. But yeah, no, it's exactly that. It's exactly that. They take these things seriously and personally. All of these to them are like microaggressions. Once again, that's why it was X chromosome that really pushed that idea forward. All of these are microaggressions, and we understand, especially for those of us that have sisters, or girl cousins that we grew up with and that we were close to. You understand all of these things that they see as slights, right? And how they interpret these things. All of these things that for you is nothing, or it's not that serious. And for men, we have things too that women don't understand, so granted. But they see all of these things as microaggressions and slights, right? It's it's their own form of communication. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Exactly. And compassion says inferred rejection. Put it in the book. That's what it is. Meta rejection, right? This is such a line ass comment. And Indigo says, you mad because men are not approaching. My question is, why do you think you are entitled to men's time and attention? That is where the hell is line? Because that is such a line ass comment. Y'all been around each other too long, Indigo. Right? Oh man. Shout out to Indigo Flow. Right. That comment right there. And y'all gives you a second, y'all talk amongst ourselves. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And we're back. Jake says, wait a minute, Z. Let's not forget it was the 4B till Cooking with Kaya came out. Didn't even last a month. Man, look, the women are just trying to get at the men. Not in a positive way either, right? All of this is trolling. It's their version of negging. It's their version of trolling, right? It's their small victory against men, right? The women are single and lonely and miserable as F. And all of this for them is get back. They feel like the men are trolling them by not bowing and kissing ass and paying exorbitantly to do so. So everything for them is a response to this, right? So yeah, one day they'll be talking 4B, then the next day they'll jump on whatever train that FD is on, then they'll jump on whatever train that foreign man is on, then they'll jump on whatever train some white feminist or white woman said, then they'll jump on whatever train Kim Foster is on. It's all about the little micro. To them, once again, it's about the winning. It's the points. They're collecting points. They're collecting W's in their mind. Right? So this is their way of trolling men. Chris Rock told y'all distance and irritation. That's what these ladies are. Distance and irritation. If I if I'm not gonna get married, if I'm not gonna have children, if that's not in the cards for me, right? Then I'll just troll men. Why not? If I am in a relationship and I am happy with whatever man I'm with, these other women speaking, right? Then I will virtue signal to other women that I'm still part of the sisterhood, right? And I'm not male identified by trolling men. This is where Kim Foster comes in. When she was single, she was trolling men. Now she's in a relationship, she's still trolling men. Because Kim Foster never wants these average ass women to really start talking about class so that they can realize that she's their class enemy. Huh? Kim Foster never wants these women to really consider, wait a minute, Kim Foster pulled the same stunt on us that white women do. They talk all this crap about men. Then they start getting the baby rabies. Then they start talking because at one point they were pretty much staunchly against having children. And slowly but surely, every once in a while, they'll mention, well, if I decide to have children, wait a minute, that's not how you were talking 5 years ago. Huh? The women are just trolling the men. All of it is get back. It's all, once again, cosmic justice get back. Y'all heard Z talk before. A lot of it is that. And Afro National says, if I don't get married, nobody's getting married. A lot of it is that. Right? That's why Mr. Z has been open with y'all about my relationship and where we're going and what it's looking like. Right? Because the last thing, shout out to Vince, shout out to all the younger brothers, um, Demetrius, everyone. The last thing Mr. Z is gonna do is walk y'all into I guess what the antidepressant pills, because men take them too, right? Walk y'all off the edge of the cliff to a lifetime of loneliness, and then I get married and I'm happy and I go live happily ever after. To me, that's beyond negligence, huh? And a lot of women engage in that. They gas up their subscribers, their followers with all this men ain't ish stuff, and they turn around and get married, and then they have children, and they go live happily ever after. Paris Milan, anyone? Not saying she have children, but she could be preggo. That could be another reason why she dropped off of YouTube. But she turned around and got married. Yeah, he's Nigerian, but to a black man. Paris Milan with all of the insanity, dancing on Terry Nichols' grave and everything, and she was hiding a whole marriage, hiding a whole engagement to a black man. See, AB got it, and AB says, "Don't talk about Paris Airhead Milan like that." Right? Thank you. Yeah, you could smell it on him. And Compassionate says FD doing the same ish, waxing poetic about hegemonic masculinity. Meanwhile, he's hegemonic as F. Man, y'all done seen FD talk. That's why I never looked at him as no pushover soft man. I think he's full of crap. But ain't nothing about FD tells me he'll run his family. Huh? Nothing about FD. He got 2 black boys on top of that, a black wife. Nothing about FD doesn't tell me he doesn't run his family. So miss me with what you talking about. Huh? Nothing about Conscious Lee tells me he doesn't run his family. Big ass, swole ass, foreign man in a foreign land, Bahamian. I grew up with Bahamians. Nothing about foreign tells me he don't run his family. Huh? It's a whole lot of, this is the class warfare. Y'all are full of crap. Huh? See, the difference between Armiose Frimpong and FD signifiers, you Armiose Frimpong don't never gotta tell you. You can hear the way he talk. He run his family. You can hear by the way he speaks. You know what he about. And he don't gotta be on some rah-rah, he-man, woman hater stuff. FD, on the other hand, is going to propose all type of different forms of family formation. And why do you want that? Why do y'all want families? Why do you want to get married anyway? Bro, we ain't trying to end up with no TRANS, man. Miss us with that. We're not trying to do LGBTQ relationships over here, player. Miss us. Huh? So what, y'all can hoard, and that's exactly what it is. Y'all can hoard all the marriage and all the children in the nuclear families up there in the top 20, 25%. Y'all get married and largely stay married, and all the rest of us over here freestyling? Nope. Huh? That's really what it is. Y'all selling a soap that by your own life you don't actually believe in. Huh? By your own life you don't even believe in it. And Jake says, so 4B, pasta lobster, bullet bags, fake billionaire quote, soft girl didn't work in a span of a year. Look, man, in reality, we are becoming more and more atomized. In reality, the women are, yeah, their friendship connection might be a bit more than the men, but they're losing, especially when you start getting to lower middle class and below, which is mainly where a lot of black people are, but a lot of white folks, Latinos, but definitely black folks. Black women, much like black men, are becoming atomized also. The current environment has them on the hamster wheel also. Some black women are doing two jobs also, or a job in a gig, or a 9 to 5, and they do Uber or Lyft on the side. The women are running around here with their like a chicken with their head cut off also. And so the women are engaging with this internet stuff for like minds on the female gynocracy crap, for some sense of community, etc., etc. So yeah, the women are running through all of these different quote unquote movements. We already know they don't stand for nothing anyway. Right? But yeah, they're engaging with all of this because this is what the sisterhood online is about. And the women are atomized like the men are atomized. They barely seeing their homegirls anyway. Huh? They don't have men in there. They don't have no boyfriend. We got y'all noticed that I covered Life with Bree. What's the other one that we covered a couple months ago? Oh man, I want to say she was in the. It's a couple of women that I covered that I want to say were under the age of 35 over the span of the past few months, and they were all single as hell. What was the name of the sister that I covered? Name of Rabib? I forgot her name. Cute East African looking sister. She told you she has what, 4 different sisters? Her mom has 5 girls. Yeah, that's what it is. Her mom has 5 girls. All of them are single with no children. They're all adults. I think she said, and she's not even the oldest, and she was around Z's age, some 36 years old or something like that. 35, 36, something like that. Your mom, and you're cute. So if your mom has 5 girls, y'all all look like you in some varying different variation, and all of your single, no children, not married, the women are atomized to sell too, y'all. And they're using this internet conversation, first of all, to interact with the men, to troll the men, and to rage out about the environment. Instead of putting those crocodile tears to work and crying in front of politicians and protesting or trolling politicians on Twitter about the current economic environment and their relationship life and the reason why it exists because corporate America, white elite men, has made coupling up so goddamn difficult. We're not even going to talk about the women and the way they believe and their own worldview that also makes this impossible. But fine, if we're going to put all the onus on the corporations and the politicians and how they have us compete against the machine, literally. You better work these 40 hours plus, or we're going to automate. Stop talking back, or we're going to automate. Huh? So instead of the women putting the crocodile tears to work, not against your average man, but against the elite, they'd rather troll us. Well, true. And Compassionate says, see, when you understand postmodernism, you realize they actually accept the theory that gender is a figment of the human imagination sold to us by the patriarchy. Thus, you shouldn't care if a woman is trans. Yep. 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 Yeah, true. L's active and L's says, B Simone literally asking um help to get a man. First, B Simone, I would suggest you take a shower every day. God damn Z. Ooh, god damn Z. Ooh, I thought you forgot Z. Ooh, you remembered Z. Ooh, god damn Z. You remembered. You remembered. Huh? Uh-oh. Huh? Damn Z, you have to respond like that. That's the first thing you said, Z? Secondly, you might want to retract the idea. Well, I can't be with no 9 to 5 guy because they won't understand. Well, B Simone, you've been kind of semi-famous for a little while now, huh? You've been in Hollywood for a little while now, B Simone, huh? I see you doing the videos. What's the brother name? Desi Banks. I see you doing the videos with the brother, huh? Y'all look good together. Why aren't y'all together? Uh-oh, huh? Why aren't y'all together? And he's funny. I see you doing appearances on his channel all the time. B Simone is prime example of you reap what you sow. I ain't even gonna mention the fact of what happened when what's his name lady passed away and how you were using the sympathy tears for your own gain. We ain't gonna mention that. Oops, I think I already did. I'm not gonna mention how you treated your own homegirl, your own friend. You know, the one that you and her were going in on Martin Luther King. I'm not gonna mention how you treated her like she was toilet tissue. We ain't gonna mention that. So long for the sisterhood, right? So much for the sisterhood, huh? And then you threw salt in the womb when your intro was the 2 chairs next to each other, and y'all said, oh, and you said, oh, what's that other chair doing here? You threw salt in the womb with that wound, excuse me, with that. Wow. And you asking for a man, lady, you don't even look like you're a good person. Shout out to all the women who aren't good people. Talk about you, these men aren't good people. K. Michelle, oh bum ass. Shout out to all the women who say that men aren't good people, and yet this is you. K. Michelle, B. Simone, etc., etc. Y'all are not good people, and not only can you not keep a man, you can't keep a friend. Huh? Thank you. And Compassion says, once she said MLK was a scumbag for allegedly cheating, Negroes collectively said, no, I'm good. Yep. Huh? right? Say it. And Indigo says, not for nothing, B. Simone seems like a horrible person. Yeah, I remember the video. She went in on the ladies for the way they speak about men. So okay, half a point, a quarter point, fine. But ma'am, you don't seem like a good person. You the way it came off is that you used the death of your friend for money and attention. You pushed one of your other friends away once again for money and attention. You passed the $1 million mark for half a second talking about um I can't be with no man that works a 9 to 5. So once again, money and attention, huh? You out here saying that you don't take a shower every day. You could have just been doing that or saying that. I don't know, a black woman that doesn't take a shower every day, but assuming that you're telling the truth and you sit it on camera, so once again, you're contributing to the spectacle for money and attention. If you sit it and you didn't really mean it and you actually do take a shower every day, so you sit it once again for the spectacle, so for money and attention, ma'am, you don't seem like you're a good person. You're doing too much for money and attention. Huh? Our society is going to have to come to terms with what the Roger report says unsupervised white folks or white people. Mr. Z's gonna say, "Oh, you about to say it, Z? Yeah, if we're gonna go sexist, let's go all the way. Unsupervised women, huh? When you take the reins off of women, what do they sound like? What do they look like? How do they act? Huh? How do they behave?" And I say, you get materialistic a-holes, Chrissy. You get women that not brag, but kind of brag about not taking showers every day, B. Simone. You get elitist a-hole women, well, a lot of women. You get women coping, Dr. Chris Marsh, Dr. Sabrina Springs. You get women who talk all around the world to finally come to the end of their story. And what it really was about was the men that they found attractive didn't find them attractive and didn't try to talk to them. That white women, once again, link is in the description box. You get scores of women crying in their cars because they're single and lonely. And the elite women who know why don't say why. By the way, this comes with equality. And the man that you're looking for, he might already be married. You know, the elite man, the tall, chiseled Chad or Tyrone, yeah, some woman scooped him up and he was married by the age of 27. Sorry. There's a handful of them that still are out here, but they're bachelors and they're probably not going to settle down until they're like 45, until they're like 50. Huh? You take the reins off of women and you see what you have. No shaming, no discipline, right? No explaining to them the environment, what they're doing with themselves, what they're doing to the society and the environment. Fine. Y'all said no SBE. Fine then. No shame, no blame, no explain. Well, you get the women you get. Huh? You get the women you get. Latinas crashing out, black women crashing out, white women crashing out, even some Asian women crashing out. Thank you, Black women, with the George Clooney doctrine. Have fun until you damn near 50. Huh? Be a perpetual bachelor. Leonardo DiCaprio too. Be a perpetual bachelor until you damn near 50. Maybe even for over 50, 52. finally marry one woman and have in the contract that you do whatever you want to do with whoever you want to do it with occasionally. Shout out to Bill Gates. Oops. Huh? And Compassionate says, I'm so over caring about sounding sexist at this point. These women spout negative generalizations about men 24/7. Chivalry is absolutely dead. Hashtag get back in the kitchen. Right? But yeah, and y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. So, what's funny about what you said, Compassionate? That's really the shaming tactic towards men, isn't it? That you're some type of sexist, misogynistic, misogynoirist if you're black monster, right? And what you really want, like you said, is to put women back in the kitchen. Like all of this is about slow walking women into some Handmaid's Tale narrative, right? That's really how the women speak. And they label everything that is not placating them as sexist. Because when you assume that you're on the right side of history, if someone opposes what you're saying, then of course they're sexist. You're on the right side of history as a woman, as a black woman in specific. Huh? So, look, man, we are watching the women unravel. Our society kept on emphasizing, and you're still going to see this on the fringes, but I think they're going to start admitting more and more. Let's see, because I think they're going to start admitting more and more that the women are hurting. You see Dr. Richard Reeves kind of try to do this thing where he's speaking about how the fall of men will be the fall of women, but nobody's really trying to listen to that. So we're gonna have to watch the women fall. That's where we at with it. So we are on the cutting edge, particularly in the black manosphere. We know about the women unraveling because we're black and we watch the women unravel in the black community, especially over the span of the past 50 or so years. Huh? We watched it. But I would argue that white society is going to start to have to, because it's not like they want to, because they want to say, no, it's the men that are messed up because this is the class warfare from elite men. The men are messed up, the women are fine. The women are good. The women are good. They're good. The only issue that the women have is that they can't find marriageable men. But outside of that, and that's because she wants to. It's not because she needs you. She's good. Financially, she's good. You're just not on her level. Shout out to Joe Scarborough. We don't want to marry your a-hole daughters with degrees. Stop it. Huh? But they're going to be forced to admit that the women are unraveling. It's going to become too clear, too obvious. And it's hurting society, to be honest with you. Huh? The women are unraveling and it's costing society. The women are unraveling. It's good for the market. They're drowning in debt. They're trying to buy little things to feel better, coping toys. It's a pun in there. And there's a pun in there. Huh? So they're buying these things, they're watching things, they're trying to cope. That, by the way, that's another reason why they watch Chrissy and why they were watching Cynthia G. All of these women are attempting to cope. It's all coping. They're sad and lonely, and it's coming out as anger and rage. Y'all are sad, lonely, broke losers. These women are sad and lonely, and they're broke, and they're horny. And they watch Cynthia G, and they watch Chrissy, and they watch Real Talk with Yanni, and they were watching Paris Milan because they're sad and lonely and broke and horny. And the way that they cope with that is to rage out. and to find someone who can articulate their rage for them. Huh? It's not a coincidence that Ostefco dropped that Pretty Privilege video and it was doing numbers. Because no one else wanted to admit that this is actually the way the women were feeling. They were feeling rejected, they were feeling dejected, they were feeling sad, lonely, horny, and they were tired of getting looked over by men for their cute homegirl. Huh? Crystalline Kerosene another one with the white guy thing. A lot. Look, man, most black women, especially of a certain age, know the white guys ain't checking. They use all of that to troll black men. They know the white guy. Look, man, black women are walking. Black women are of the world. They're in the world. They're in the grocery store. They're in the tire shop. They're in all of these places. Especially if you live in a major city, they're in the pizzeria. Huh? They're in the dollar store. They're at the restaurants. Black women know white men ain't checking. Black women know that Latino men, for the most part, are not checking. Black women know. They backed Crystalline Kerosene because it felt good to troll men with this crap. It's the same reason they follow Chrissy. Because Chrissy sells them the dream. Chrissy is, quote unquote, talking about colorism. Rashida Strober is more about, really about this color talk than Chrissy is. But why do they follow Chrissy? Because Chrissy makes all of this sound luxurious. Z, did you have to say it like that? Nope, but it felt good. Right? That's why they follow Chrissy. Because Chrissy, once again, she has a degree in marketing, so she just make it sound good. She make it sound sexy. Being misandrist, particularly anti-black misandry, she make it sound sexy. And she makes it sound luxurious. All of this is coping. Revelot says, sounds like they need therapy. Say that. From a black man, by the way. A straight black man. Preferably one in the part of the black manosphere. Huh? So on that note, y'all, look, Z got things to do with Miss Z. We got plans. Right? So yeah, y'all, look, all of this is coping. All of this is coping. The ladies are coping. They're angry at the red pill because the red pill is giving the men the words. I'll end out with this. Dear ladies, white, black, Latina, Asian, otherwise, the red pill isn't the answer. Your behavior and women's collective behavior is the problem. That is the problem. The men and the young boys come seeking the red pill. I want to be very clear. They're seeking the red pill to explain their mother's behavior. They're seeking the red pill to explain their girlfriend, their high school girlfriend's behavior. They're seeking the red pill to explain their college girlfriend's behavior. They're seeking the red pill to explain why they got taken out for a foodie call and the girlfriend, well, homegirl, whoever it was, didn't give them no cheeks and knew that that was her play in the beginning. They're seeking the red pill to explain the foodie call. They're seeking the red pill to explain the low-level contempt from women, the misandrous verbiage from women. Dear ladies, right? And Indigo says, kosher clinician, book a session. Say that. Book a session. And AB says, I'll be on later for the Coliseum. AB, if I well, you should still be on when I come back, but we'll see. I might jump on the panel. But yeah, so that's all it's coping, y'all. It's coping. And I get it. Is it really helping the women? No. It's funny because it's keeping them insane and sane at the same time. The rhetoric is keeping them insane, but the venting and the rage is also keeping them sane. Z, there ain't no way. I'm telling y'all. If these women didn't have these spaces, I think they, in a weird way, they would be more nihilistic because they're using these spaces as community. right? If y'all recall, and I'll end out really with this. Goddamn, I'm doing what Better You Said I always do. But the young lady, she called into Real Talk with Yenny. This was maybe a year ago at this point, maybe even longer than that. Um, I want to say she was Canadian sister, black woman, young black woman, speaking about working at a place, and not having too many friends there, but she's cool with a couple of people. And there was a brother that was working there, and he would ignore her. He talked to everyone else. He chilled with everyone else. He would talk to the other women, but she felt at least that he ignored her, right? He did not talk to her. He did not approach her. He ignored her. And if you heard her tone of voice, she was angry about it. She wasn't hood. She didn't sound like some angry, but you could tell it. She was sad about it, but she was angry about it. Now, whether she found him attractive or not, I couldn't tell by that. Probably, I couldn't tell by what she was saying, but she was angered that in her mind he was actively, purposely ignoring her and avoiding her. I say that to say that these women, as we were saying before, shout out to Compassionate, to them, it's an attack, particularly for black women. Black men who aren't jokey with them, black men who aren't even, that low level flirt. You're not even interested, but you compliment her, you compliment her, you do your own version of the sister girl thing. Black men that don't engage with that, you are actively attacking a black woman. Huh? And the women use these spaces and these communities as community. Their issue with the red pill space is that we tell men that men don't have to deal or put up with women's bad behavior, with women's sexism, with women's misandry. And to them, that is misogynistic. It is misogynistic to tell men that they don't have to deal with women's misandry. You don't have to eat women's misandry. It is not your job to protect, provide, and shut up for misbehaving, mean, snarky, rude, consumerist, materialistic, a-hole entitled brats with a whole lot of college loan debt and credit card debt. L's active. That is hysterical. L's active. L says intimate stranger violence. Put it in the book. I might have to do a whole stream about that. L's active. I might have to do a whole stream about that. Oh man. All those women that are, where did all the good men go? And why aren't men approaching anymore? What happened to all the real men? I might have to do a whole treatment, man. Put it in the book. That might be a stream. That might be a stream. Oh man. Right? Y'all wait for it. That might be a stream right there. So on that note, y'all, look, Z got things to do. We will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Shout out to the replay gang. Hit the thank you button. And Black Uru says, see, Black Uru just snuck in with the benediction. And Black Uru says, and the last 60 years has institutionalized misandry, especially against black males. And there you go. All right. So shout out to Black Uru. Black Uru with the benediction, even though he wasn't trying. And to ladies, as I said, the red pill exists because of your behavior, because of the environment. And as Black Uru said, the last 60 years of institutionalized misandry, particularly to black men. As Trell said, shout out to Nasik. Negroes ain't ish industrial complex. Right? So on that note, everyone, once again, we'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. AB Media should be streaming in a little bit. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. And maybe y'all catch Z later on tonight on AB. Hopefully, we'll see. And all right, y'all. Mr. Z out.